Well, how you doing, everyone? This is the day that the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you're located. Remember, this is, again, the day that the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. It is early for me at the time of the recording of this episode. I know for you guys, it is 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have a show. Please go ahead and check it out. Please remember to like the video you are watching. That helps out more than you know. It also would help out if you could hit the follow button or the subscribe button, depending on the platform you are listening on. I am excited. Had a great weekend. Had a great weekend at church. Had some of the youth boys come over to the house and play some college football. And unfortunately, see the Saints get crushed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's not why I'm wearing the red hat, though. Because of that, I had to come in extremely early on Monday morning. But it is live where you're located. We do have the live chats open up on YouTube and Rumble. You can go ahead and have a discussion. Tell me, hey, I will go ahead and look at those in a little while. And probably, hey, go ahead and comment on it. You can go so far. You can find me on Facebook, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music and Spotify. All good stuff. All right, we got a lot to talk about. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you went to church. We need a lot more of that here in the country, especially with the election coming up. And we got some of that in the news. We got Obama in the news, ladies and gentlemen. And they're getting desperate when they call Barack Obama. We have the Harris-Biden administration filing lawsuits in Virginia. We're going to tell you why for that. And we have George Soros in the news. So, again, we just have a lot. I forgot how many days left, but it is a little under a month until the election of 2024, which leads me to a few announcements. November 5th is going to be a big night for us here at BGS Media. Me and Kelby Dago from the Kelby and Joe Show will be here. We will be breaking down all the news and everything that's going on that night. We're expecting, we're planning on being in here not too late, but we're going to be in here. Who knows? We might be able to call the presidential election. If one of the candidates just run away with every state, then we can probably call it very early. If not, we will be in here late, seeing what happens. We both are blue-collar men. We have to work, so we'll see what happens. Also, Bayou on the Bash, the third annual Bayou on the Bash, hosted by the St. Martin Parish Republican Party Committee at Pat's Chapelai Club. I believe it starts at 7 on the 23rd of October. You can find all your tickets and all the information at Eventbrite, and you can find it on the St. Martin Parish Republican Party's Facebook page. All right, so let's start off. On Thursday, Barack Obama, hit the campaign trail last Thursday, and he was in Pittsburgh. He's trying to rally the troops, and he made some waves. Why he made some waves? Because he basically told the crowd, look, you are not, there's not that energy that I had in 2008 and 2012. And he is true on that. I will give Barack Obama the truth tell him he is telling the truth on that. The 2008 and the 2012 elections for president of the United States, Barack Obama brought an energy. Now, I don't agree anything with Barack Obama by far. If I agree with Barack Obama, I would be very, very surprised. But look, I was surprised earlier. I said he said the truth. And Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012 brought this energy to the Democrat Party. People were excited to vote for Barack Obama. Again, I didn't agree with his policies, but Obama is a very well speaker. He is he energizes a room when he gets there. He just, there's something about Barack Obama. Like I said, I don't agree with none of his policies, but he could talk to anybody. And Barack Obama brought some energy to those campaigns that we won't see for a very, very long time in the Democrat Party. Now, they're trying to get this same energy for Kamala Harris, and it will not happen. Why? Because Kamala Harris does come out with a lot of baggage. I had a debate I think it was last Thursday night, with a young man that was trying to prove to me that Kamala Harris was better than sliced bread. Man, she was the greatest person to run for president. There was no other like her, and I don't think there would ever be another one like her. And he was just trying to explain. And when the simple question I asked him was, tell me something she has accomplished in her whole political career. I didn't give him just the accomplishment of the vice president. I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the whole political career of Kamala Harris. And the first thing he brought up was, oh, well, she went to the southern countries and tried to stop illegal immigration, or stop illegal immigration from coming across the border. And I said, she's failed. Oh, I didn't say she was going to stop. No, she failed. If she went there to slow it down, she didn't. The only time it slowed down, now I'm going to be honest with you, the only time it slowed down was in recent months. President Biden signed an executive order to slow down the flow of the immigrations of people coming across the border just a couple of months ago. Why? Because they wanted to say, hey, Kamala Harris and under Biden's leadership, they stopped the flow of illegal immigration, but they can't, because there's been 10 million people come across that border. Going back to that, there is no accomplishment that Kamala Harris has ever done as the vice president, as a prosecutor, as an attorney general. She is a flip-flop. She has failed on every occasion. She has been in California until her recent promotion to vice president of these great United States. But she hit a lot of what she done in California, but it still comes out that she's a massive failure in the great state of California. So people are finally starting to see, I said this last week, people are finally starting to see what she is. People are starting to see that her policies will not help America. She's trying to run as this fresh of breath air, but she is still the incumbent of the seat. No, she's not. She's not the president of the United States. She is the current vice president of the United States. So all her policies are tied to Joe Biden. Her massive failures are tied to Joe Biden. So this is why they're trying to get Barack Obama, and Obama's trying to energize the troops, trying to tell them, hey, come and support. But it gets a little messier than that. He didn't make waves because he just showed up. No, it's because what he said, and he was targeting black voters more along the lines of black men, and telling them that they should vote for Kamala Harris all because of the color of her skin. Former President Barack Obama on Thursday spoke, or this is last Thursday, to black men in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, telling them he believes they wasn't supporting Vice President Kamala Harris because she was a woman. That's one woman, and because of her skin color. Obama noted from former President Donald Trump is gaining with black male voters. Excuse me, and my phone's going off. Is gaining ground with black male voters. And instead of trying to figure out why that is, Obama suggested it was due to, because that she's a woman. My understanding is based on the reports I'm getting from campaigns and committees. It is that we have not yet seen the same kind of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running, Obama said, according to NPR. Now, this is the whole thing, too. Instead of trying to find out, as the article says, why they don't have energy, they want to blame it. Oh, well, you're a sexist. Oh, you don't want women to have power. Oh, you men, you should vote for her because she's black, and because you don't want to vote for her because she's black, because she's a woman. They try, see how they playing the race card and try to downgrade masculinity. This is Obama. This is their golden calf, Obama. He added that the lack of enthusiasm for Harris seems to be more pronounced with his brothers. Obama then praised voters who may vote for Trump or sit out of the election. This is Obama's quotes. I'm reading Obama's quotes, ladies and gentlemen. This comes from the Daily Wire, and they're quoting from NPR. Are you thinking about sitting out? He said, according to the outlet. Part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just ain't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. Obama added that the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. When we were in trouble and the system isn't working for us, they're the ones out there marching and protesting, he added. Speaking directly to black male voters who may be on the fence between Harris and Trump, Obama claimed that Harris was for them while Trump was against them. Now, I'm going to stop right here. Okay, I agree with him on women. Look, on terrible times, women have men back. I'm not going to, they are a helper. They are a supporter. The Bible says this. But to suggest that men or that are on the fence because of Harris and Trump says that Harris was with them and while Trump is against them. You know what a man thinks? And look, I'm not trying to downgrade women. A lot of great women in my life. And my wife's an amazing person. I'm not going to try to downgrade women. But you know what a man thinks about? How to feed his family. How to go ahead and provide for his wife and his kids. Even men that are not married and they're with their girlfriend or whatever, and they have to support that girlfriend. They're thinking about, how do I pay for that next meal for them? Under the Harris-Biden administration, eggs have gone up so much. Bread has gone up. The groceries in general have gone up. And the economy has slipped. I talked to a man last Friday delivering some dirt. And he told me, look, if Trump was still president, I'll be retired right now. And I said, how was that? He said, well, my 401k was up so high under Trump. He said, I lost 30% of my investments because of the Biden-Harris administration. He said, I have to continue working. This was an older gentleman. See, that's what a man thinks of. A man thinks about, hey, how do I get the money into the banking account? And the Biden-Harris administration they haven't helped men do that. They have taken that from men, where men have to work harder, 1, 2, 3 jobs. So for Obama to say, well, Harris is with them, no, Harris has not been with them, because Harris's policy under the leadership of Joe Biden, who she says she has been part of every major decision, according to The View, her statement on The View, meaning that she's to blame for this. And that's why men are thinking about going to Trump. Just not black man or white man, every man in general in this country. This is why they're considering Trump, because under the Trump administration, we had tax cuts that helped us keep money in our pockets. We went ahead and we didn't have to pay for groceries. I had a friend that told me this the other day. Somebody took a picture of their food bill when when Trump first got out of office. They were paying $200, $300 some dollars for groceries. The same amount of groceries, they're paying almost $700. So for Obama to suggest, that Harris is for the working man, that is baloney. I'm sorry. If that offend you, well, hey, you needed to be told the truth. On the other hand, Obama continued, you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understand the struggles and pain and the joy that comes from those experiences, Obama said, claiming that Harris supported policies that would help black communities. And on the other side, you have someone who has constantly showed this regard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. That is not true. Donald Trump helped out a lot of black communities and black men and black people in general when he was president of the United States. And for him to say that she knows your struggles, she knows your pain from experiences like going to college, okay, you know, support, but somebody who grew up like you. How does Obama know how we grew up? Okay, not me, but he was targeting the black community. But I'm just saying, how does he know they grew up? look, and the Kamala Harris always started out. I grew up in a middle class family. Her dad, if I'm not mistaken, always had a government job. Her mom, yes, she went ahead and took care of her daughter. And look, I commend Kamala Harris for being Kamala Harris's mother for being a single mom and raising her daughters. They both have become successful, but they weren't that poor. They struggled. I'm not gonna doubt that. I'm not gonna go ahead. But now the article continues and it talks about how Harris hasn't spoken much about her policies, but what she has discussed: price control, handing out thousands of dollars for home down payments, abortion. They aren't going to help the black communities or any communities. This is true. Daily Wire previously reported that price control criticized as a social era policy idea led to scary research of higher costs, and Americans are already struggling with high costs due to the Biden-Harris administration policies. So Obama is saying that she's going to help the black community is all false, according to the plans she has discussed that have led to socialistic ideas. This goes to a point though. Okay, it's funny how Barack Obama's making these statements, and look, I've said this. Look. You can tell by the skin tone. I'm not a African American. I'm a white Caucasian man. But I'm just thinking if a black person would hear these comments, they should be offended. First off, saying to a man, "Hey, you're only voting for her because you're not voting for her because she's a woman." And look, they do this with the race card all the time, and I'm about to say that if you don't vote for them because of the color of their skin, you're a racist. Look, Joe Biden did it the last election cycle on the Breakfast Club. They asked him about the black turnout and stuff, and Biden clearly said, "Hey, if you don't vote for me, that means you're not black." Saying, "Listen, if you don't agree with my policies as a black person, you're not black. You're Uncle Tom. You're whatever disgraceful name they choose for a black person for disagreeing with their policies." And they're doing this right now. "Oh, man, if you're not voting for her because I think it's because you think she's just a woman." It's not that. Her policies stink. And again, when she says, you got to vote, you have to vote for her because you're black and she's black, and you have to go along them lines. And look, Herschel Walker said it the best way. He told a group of supporters that Barack Obama telling us to vote based on color is a step backwards, and it's true. We also had a group far back at Obama. I think it was let me make sure. I want to make sure I have it right. The Black Men for Trump Advisory Board took aim at former President Barack Obama for his appeal to black men to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. So he's getting some backlash for this. Why? Because he's not telling people to vote on policy. He's telling people to vote on gender and race. And that is a step back. All right, moving on. All right, so another story that is involving an African American person. As you know, we had some storms come through these great states of the United States of America: Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. North Carolina getting the brunt force of Helene. And we had I'm trying to think of it, the hurricane's name. The latest hurricane in I think it's Milton. Yeah, Milton. Milton come through Florida, the great state of Florida, and both storms were devastating. But out of all these storms, Governor Ron DeSantis is doing a real good job. We reported last week that Harris was throwing a little fit because Ron DeSantis didn't want to take her call. Now, when President Biden was asked about this at a press conference, he said, "Look, Governor DeSantis has taken my calls. He has been gracious with me. So I don't know what she's talking about, basically. And again, this throws Kamala Harris under the bus for trying to be political. Now she's blaming Ron DeSantis for doing that, but she was doing the same thing. Well, when famous people talk, hey, a lot of people listen. And Devin Morstad, the wife of running backs Miami Dolphins Rasheem Morstad, I hope I'm saying that name right. I used to have this guy on my fantasy football league, and I still can't say his name right. Is standing by her comments earlier this week about Vice President Kamala Harris' ridiculous attack on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Hurricane Milton. She made some statements saying that she didn't agree with Kamala Harris on these attacks and praised Ron DeSantis. I'm trying to find her quote in this article. Morstad took to her Instagram at the time to praise DeSantis for doing a great job and continue to vocalize her support for the governor's response to back-to-back natural disasters. I really don't think that Kamala's comments about him add up, Morstad told Fox News Digital during an exclusive video interview. He is focused on taking care of his Floridians, and that exactly what he should be focused on. All of our resources and time were supposed to be on that, Morstad went on. Yet she's standing on the tarmac complaining that somebody didn't take her call. To me, that just seems ridiculous. So Devin Morstad is blasting Kamala Harris, all because she's griping somebody didn't take her phone call. And this is why I brought out this story. Morstad has been getting nasty comments. She has because she criticized the Biden administration and Harris, all because, again, they didn't take a phone call. When this happened, she started getting DMs in her Instagram. And she said, this is gross. She said, I truly can't imagine sliding into someone's DMs or commenting on somebody's picture of their family talking about the skin color of my kids. Morstad said while she is fluffing off nasty negative comments, calling her a white snowflake, a snowflake, gold-digging wife, there's a limit to her toleration of the leftist comments. When you talk about my kids, you're really crossing the line, she said. I know who I am, Morstad added. I know my heart. I know my family dynamics. I know my husband. They think that they know me, and they know absolutely nothing. Despite the notices flooding her Instagram, Morstad said that many more users are commenting her for speaking out on the platform more directly and reinforce supporting from NFL wives and girlfriends who respect views is paramount. So what's going on here? Why are the left upset at this woman for disagreeing with Kamala Harris? Well, because she is, I think she's mulattoan. If I could be wrong. I could be wrong too. She could be white. I'm not sure. But according to the mainstream media, someone in this line of work, I guess you could say, or somebody in this high status in the community should be lining up for Kamala Harris. All because, again, the color of skin. See, this is the issue. This is the big issue with Kamala with this whole situation. Kamala Harris said something. Somebody that is high in stature and has a lot of money to a football player should be supporting Kamala Harris. One, because she's a woman. These women should stick together. Now, this woman did not say, Devin Morstad did not say she was not voting for Kamala Harris. She just said she disagreed with Kamala Harris. Then it goes to the point of like, hey, you can't disagree with Kamala Harris. You get what I'm saying? So first off, she's a woman, so she couldn't question anything. And now that she's vocally went ahead and after Kamala Harris, all the left is upset at this. And ladies and gentlemen, it goes to the point. You can disagree with Kamala Harris. I disagree with Donald Trump. And a lot of people look at me like, how dare you? How dare you go ahead and go against Donald Trump? Well, I disagree with Donald Trump, and I have a podcast. I have to voice my opinion. Well, I don't have to voice it, but I choose to voice my opinion, and you're here because you want to hear my opinion on this stuff. But and this is a whole issue too. This black family don't want to support Kamala Harris. Oh, that's not good. And see, because she's a famous person and married to a famous football player, it's even worse. See, somebody like me says it, or someone that's small potatoes would say something, it's not bad. But when a woman of stature comes out and says, I disagree with Kamala Harris, it makes them look bad. And this is why the left is throwing nasty comments at her kids, calling her names. And look, this is a whole funny thing too. The left tells us, man, y'all need to be respectful. Y'all shouldn't call us names. Y'all shouldn't say nasty words. But what do they do when they have somebody that they disagree with? They call them snowflakes. They call them white. They throw out every nasty name in the book. And that, my friends, called them. That's the pot calling the kettle black, because the whole issue with this is people that they just can't take disagreements. They just can't, and that's part of our society today. People just can't agree to disagree. I will debate you all day long, but at the end of the day, we're still American citizens. And we need to go ahead and come together. We can agree to disagree. But, and look, her assessment, in my opinion, is right. My assessment of what happened in Florida with Kamala Harris and Ron DeSantis is right. First off, I said it last week, Harris should have never made the phone call. She's not the president of the United States. She didn't have to make a big deal about it. But guess what? She did, and it made her look bad. And I think she's making it out. Like I said, I assume, Borsod and his family look very beautiful family. I've seen the pictures here on Fox News. But for them to come out and say, oh, she's wrong for doing that. She shouldn't be doing that because it makes Kamala look bad. Well, hey, we need to tell people how Kamala Harris is. Kamala Harris is not good for the country. All right, let's move on. The Biden-Harris administration files a lawsuit, according to the Daily Wire, for removing non-citizens from voters' rolls. Now, according to the Constitution, the only way you get to vote in this country is if you are a citizen of the United States. And look, if you're a non-citizen of the United States, okay, great. I'm glad if you came here legally, thank you for coming here legally. You respected our country. But if you're a legal alien that has come across the border illegally, you shouldn't have the right to vote. No non-citizen, let's say it like that, should vote in our elections. If you want to vote in our election, you need to become a citizen of the United States, and you need to do the proper go through the proper channels to vote. And we're seeing this right now, where states, especially, don't have ID laws. Illegal immigrants are going to register to vote when they get their license. There's even some states, I think I reported on this the other day, that are encouraging legal immigrants to go and register to vote. So what Glenn Youngkin and them's doing in Virginia, that happened in August 7th of 2024, Glenn Youngkin signed an executive order saying, hey, let's go ahead and take off the non-citizens off our rolls. No problem. It's constitutional. Glenn Youngkin signed it, and Glenn Youngkin has also said that the original law that was signed by Tim Kaine. Now, Tim Kaine is a Democrat, but he's also the former running mate of Hillary Clinton. He went ahead and signed a bill to go ahead and clean out this voter rolls, and this is what the Harris campaign, the Biden-Harris administration, has filed a lawsuit on. Biden-Harris administration announced on Friday that it was filing a lawsuit against the state of Virginia for enforcing voter integrity laws in the state that aim to curb illegal voting in elections. Assistant Attorney General Christine Clark, who has a history of espousing racial views, claimed without evidence that Virginia move to increase election integrity was a 11th hour effort intended in part to dysfunction qualified voters. The DOJ claimed that it was doing so because it was too close to the November 5th election to remove voters. However, again, we just talked about this. Glenn Youngkin's executive order requiring that non-citizens be removed from the voter rolls was signed on August 7th of 2024, exactly 90 days before election day. So why push this lawsuit out now? Is this because they want to make sure every vote counts, or to make sure they have enough votes for them to win over an election? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we already know that, and look, this has been going on for years. It just isn't something that came out of the blue. Illegal immigrants, when they come over, they are encouraged to vote, and they normally vote for Democrats. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. This has been going on for years. And with the influx of 10 million illegal immigrants coming over, they're trying to get as many of them to vote. And Virginia, for a long time, was blue. That was a state that you could put in the back pocket of the Democrat Party, but it's not like that no more. Democrats have lost the state. The state has a Republican governor, a Republican lieutenant governor, and a Republican attorney general. And almost all the state has gone red. So Virginia isn't bright red, but it is turning red. This is a state that Democrats need to win in November to keep up their win. And look, this the beauty. I talked about this last night with a good friend of mine. This is the beauty of the Electoral College. If a one minor state turn, it turns the whole map around. And it can either turn for Trump or it could turn for Harris. And this is why they pushed the lawsuit on Friday, because they want to make sure that Virginia stays blue. And if you start taking off non-citizens off the road, that threatens their victory. This isn't for justice. This isn't because Glenn Youngkin did something wrong, because if they thought Glenn Youngkin did something wrong, they would have sued him back on August 8th. They didn't. They waited until, a little under 30 days to push this lawsuit. This is all because, I'm going to be honest with you, this is all because they're going to lose votes if the non-citizens are removed from the rolls. Again, Democrats, Harris and Biden, all of them should not disagree with this, but they do. Why are they disagreeing with this move? Because they know that those non-citizens are their votes. Man, look, I could be wrong. It could be Donald Trump's votes, but I'm just saying. You don't hear Donald Trump and J.D. Vance going after them. And look, I'm going to say this. What I'm hearing, the RNC has done a real good job. The RNC has done a real good job since the new leadership of, I think it's Trump's daughter or daughter-in-law, whatever, has taken over the RNC. They have been doing a good job watching these last-minute changes. If you remember in 2020, that's one of the reasons why people were so upset. There were court filings and lawsuits before the election that changed some of the election rules going into the election cycle, and the Republicans did nothing. Now they're doing something. Glenn Youngkin has done his job and said, look, we're going to take off the non-citizens. Well, Isaac, that's a political part right there. Why he's doing it right now? I don't know why he did it this year. He maybe should have done it the first time. Maybe it didn't come up and he didn't know about it. I don't know. But why are the Democrats upset about it? Why are the Democrats upset that a Republican is saying, hey, we're going to take off the non-citizens? Again, this is all because it hurts the Democrat Party. All right, next story. Walsh suggests reason he keeps lying about his past is he's too emotional and passionate. This comes from the Daily Caller. Democrat Minnesota Governor Tim Walz suggests during a Friday interview that he keeps lying about his past and misspeaking because he wears his emotions on his sleeves and it is passionate. This happened in the debate. You remember he was asked about his time in China, and it came to find out it was not correct. And he told them, hey, I misspoke, and I'm very passionate about what I believe. Sometimes I'm a knucklehead. You remember that. And like I watched the SNL skit with Kamala Harris and her husband Doug watching the debate, and when he said I'm a friend of school shooters, she had a glass of wine and she broke it, and she's like, oh. Tim Walz says a few things. I'm just look, and he says we're weird. He says Trump and JD Vance are some weird guys. You notice that phase has gone away. They're not talking about it anymore because Republicans have switched it on them. Now it's not relevant no more. Excuse me. Walz joined ABC News Michael Strahan on Friday as a part of a friendly media blitz the Harris campaign is sending him over the next few days. Strahan pressed Walz about saying he was in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre when he wasn't, and the vice presidential president desired for her running mate to be more careful with how he was saying things. This was the question. You call yourself a knucklehead, but you made some statements that just aren't true. And the comments about weapons of war that I carried in war, which you didn't. You said you were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre when you weren't. You kind of chuckled at it all up to bad grammar and getting the dates wrong. Strahan began asking Walz if his opponents are right about him lying to make himself look better. Good question. Good question. Now, look, Michael Strahan, excellent football player. He's not a journalist. Look, he's good on Fox News or Fox Sports when he's talking about football. But he shouldn't be talking about anything with politics, in my humble opinion. That is my opinion. Now, look, I'm not a journalist either. I've been following politics for years, but I'm not. I speak my opinion. I don't call myself a news journalist. He's asking a vice presidential candidate questions. Listen to Walz's response. Let's read Walz's response. Well, look, 35 years ago, I got the opportunity to be in Hong Kong. He always starts off with that when this question comes up. Well, I had the opportunity to go. Be in China, learn a lot about it. Served 24 years in the National Guard passionately. In an instant talking about gun violence in schools, on an instance there, Walz started to answer, seemingly referred to when he committed a giffe and said he was friends with school shooters during the vice presidential candidate. Proud of my service that I have done. Proud to be a teacher in that classroom. Proud to be very public all those years and owning it when I said I was there in August of '89. I think what you see here, you saw it in Minnesota, been elected 8 times here. Those things have been very public for folks here. They see the results and the things we passed. Walz continued. What? He didn't answer the question. Now, to Strahan's credit, he pressed him on it. He pressed Walz on his military falsehoods and lies about his trips to China, asking the governor to respond to people who feel they cannot trust him because of all the past statements. CNN previously reported that while Walz had claimed that he had been in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre, he was actually not there. Walz's first response to the report during the vice presidential debate on October 1st, calling himself a knucklehead and explained that despite the lies, the people of Minnesota knew who he is. The governor was also caught lying about his National Guard after Walz joined the vice president on the ticket. The Harris campaign shared the 2018 video of the governor pushing for gun control, saying that those weapons of war that I carried in war should say only in combat. Critics, however, pointed out that the governor never saw combat. This is the governor's response to Strahan's answer. Well, I said they know who I am. I know who I am. I know the work that I've done. I know things. I get spent in the political environment, but I think that they see it. If they were to compare and that talking about immigration policy or seeing things that Donald Trump, now let's switch it to Donald Trump. I'm lying. This is the thing. They say Donald Trump lied. Oh, excuse me. Hit my mic. Donald Trump lies. Donald Trump don't know what he's doing. Donald Trump's this. But when they're trying to explain their lies, they have to bring up Donald Trump. They're lying. They lie. He lied. We'll say I think there's a big difference then. Say, okay, my lies are not as big as Donald Trump. See, you see how he said that? Think about it. Okay, seeing the things that Donald Trump would say, I think they see a big difference. Oh, I just lied about going to a whole country, and I lied about serving in the military. He served in the military, but he never served in combat. Oh, people are going to see that's very different than Donald Trump's lies. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. Let me finish reading this. Let me try to get through this. Then missing a date when you're there, and again, no, he just didn't. Wow. Spending something for political reasons. I am very clear who I have been, the governor answered before Strahan again grilled him on his misspeaking. And look, credit to Strahan. Good job. Michael Strahan, you did a good job. Sounding like a conservative. But listen how he said this, okay? Hey, people are going to see a big difference between me and Donald Trump's lies. No, we're not. No, a lie's a lie. A lie's a lie. I'm just saying. And Vice President Harris said that she told you to be a little more careful on how you say things. Strahan's followed up, referring to a previous interview with 60 Minutes where Walsh said one of the disagreements he and Harris have had since hitting the campaign trail is over his tendency to goof and be caught in his lies. So Harris is worried about this. Why? Because, hey, people might like Harris, but if he's lying, is she lying? Yeah, well, I did it. Even the other day, I just speaking passionately about these gun violence situations and meeting with those survivors. I sat in a room with the Sandy Hook folks. A friend of David Hogg, who been a advocate on this, people know in that, and again, discuss his school shooting issue on the vice president debate stage. Very clear that I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I don't think in these positions, whether it be governor or being vice president of the United States, you do need to be collective, careful. You do. There's a lot of. But listen here, and that's not me messing up. That's him. Listen to what he says. Very clear that I wear my emotions on my sleeves. And I do think in those positions, whether it be governor or being vice president of the United States, you do need to be collective. Well, yeah, you need to be collective. You can't be saying things because you're very passionate and mess something up. Could you imagine being at a negotiation table and being very passionate and say something to Iran, Russia, or another adversary of this country, and he's like, oh, shoot, and they're like, oh, that's war, and they go away? You need to be... Look, this interview is on Good Morning America's TikTok page, but not TikTok page. Their X page. You should go check it out. I'm done with this. And look. All what I can say about this, Michael Strahan, good job. You grilled him on important issues. You grilled him, and you wanted him to answer the questions, and he didn't. Because they're an administration that lies, ladies and gentlemen. They are an administration that lies. Okay. Michael Schwartz is going to like this one. Mask mandates return for healthcare facilities in deep blue states since the flu season started. Masks don't stop everybody. So, with that being said, I'm running short on time this morning. Again, had to record this early in the morning. I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there for the day. And listen up, guys. The election is close. The election is very, very close. I've talked about all these issues that are going on. And again, look, I'm sorry. I know it's not that long of a video today. But remember that Jesus Christ is King, and He's coming back, and He's coming back soon. We have under a month away, ladies and gentlemen, of one of the most important elections of our lifetime. And we need to go ahead and we need to vote to put the right people in office and vote to make sure that our rights are protected. So with that being said, remember, if you can, early vote. Also, bring your friends, bring your family members with you to vote. This is how we win this election. Until next time, you be blessed, you be encouraged. You have a good one.